Hey guys, welcome to another Steven Wilson episode. We're going to be talking about the lyrics involved on the Overview album, which is brand new in 2025. I'm going to do this in two videos. First, I'm going to take a look at the lyrics of Objects Outlive Us. And then the next video, whenever that happens, will be the actual overview itself. Now, I just want to give you a little background on this. From Google itself, the overview explores the concept of the overview effect. And what that is essentially it's a psychological phenomenon where astronauts experience a profound shift in perspective when viewing Earth from space. Sounds like first world problems, right? So the lyrics delve into themes of humanity's insignificance in the vast cosmos, the fragility of life, the human experience in relation to the universe, etc., etc. Now, whether you believe in this stuff or not is up to you. I'm grounded in biblical philosophy. I'm a Christ-leaning individual. So I'm kind of at odds with some of these concepts because I believe that humanity is God's greatest creation and we are the center of everything. So this kind of goes against what Steven Wilson's writing about, and that's partially the reason I'm doing it, is I want to delve into like what I don't necessarily believe in, and but just share the thoughts and ideas with you guys. So I'm going to go through some of the lyrics here. I'll put them up on screen. Part 1, No Monkey's Paw. There's really not much to this, and it's very vague too. If anyone knows what No Monkey's Paw is referring to, please let me know, because I'm missing something there. But let's jump into the second part, known as the Buddha of the Modern Age. All right, Buddha of the Modern Age is barely paid minimum wage, doling out truth and healthy karma, blah blah blah. Slaughter the sacred cow to stuff our stupid mouths. I don't know about you guys, but I love beef, all right? And as far as the Bible's concerned, the animals are here for us. So, an insatiable thirst to kill over and over, wallowing in our own feces, gazing down at our navels, meaning we're only focusing on selfish things, to find some kind of perspective amongst all the invective. Is this guy Dr. Seuss or what? Very self-centered view of reality, very much inward, introspective, but on a very selfish way, Ramble struck dumb, dementia or overcome stampeding, but we have no need to try. Just it's kind of like how humanity is, especially these days, kind of self-involved, self-centered, only worried about what's right in front of you, not looking past your nose, and only caring about things that really don't matter. Let's move on to part 3, Objects Meanwhile, okay? This is kind of a cool thing. I love this in the song too. Her shopping bag broke, sending eggs and flour crashing down to the ground like star clusters smashing. So Steven Wilson is essentially, like a good poet would, he's taking the idea of the cosmos and stars and supernovas and gassy explosions and kind of equating it with the sound and sight and experience of eggs and flour coming crashing to the ground. Flour is a very, very, it produces a lot of dust, right? So he's equating the flour crashing and kind of coming up from the ground to be like stars smashing into each other out in deep space. Very interesting poetic vision for that. No one will give her a glance. They just shuffle on home in a trance. Because at the end of the day, we only care about ourselves, right? And I speak for everybody, I guess. I mean, whether you are one of these people or not, everybody's self-centered at some point. But it's a very interesting vision. You picture someone in a grocery store and their stuff falls and it's equated to, it's like a microcosm of the macrocosm of everything. And then, of course, no one helps her because we're all self-centered and only focused on what we're doing. We're all navel-gazing, as they say. So the tiniest lives fill their hives up with worry. the hives being like their minds or their homes, and you know, the lives of the individual are essentially just very tiny, insignificant things on the grand scale. And everybody's worried. To make it to church, well, she'll need to hurry. And of course, you want to go to church to make yourself feel like you're being a good person. I don't subscribe to that. We're just talking about what Stephen's writing, but it's very interesting stuff. When late, she'll bow down contrite while a meteor turns out the light. So she's bowing down to God to pray, and something as big as the meteors of space can, you know, destroy electricity and power grids on the planet. I love, again, the content of what he's talking about. I don't necessarily agree with from a spiritual and philosophical standpoint, but I love the poetic dance that he's creating with all of this. The chorus of this sets the stage for it's a vision of a car sitting in an ordinary street, but not where it normally is. His payments are in arrears, and nobody hears when a sun disappears in a galaxy afar. So it's just more like mixing the silly minutia of the everyday life. You know, your car payment doesn't matter, but on the grand scale, neither does a distant sun burning out either. It's just interesting stuff. In verse 2, they talk about some guy going to work, and he asks his boss what he can do, and his boss says, clean all the cars. And then he wondered, is there life on Mars? Again, Dr. Seuss, full on. The wondering about life on Mars, I mean, other than Elon Musk, I don't really know anyone who gives a crap about that. But also interesting, cleaning cars, life on Mars. It's the collision of these two ideas, right? I think we're going to move on, because I don't need to sing the whole song here for you. You get the idea of that. The next part is I don't even know how to pronounce this. It's the Circiones or whatever. Cicerones. Just laugh at me. We'll move on. Apparently it's the instrumental. And that's pretty much it. So an exercise in comparing and contrasting the simpleness of life on Earth for the average human who only thinks about themselves and can't look past their nose, up against the insanity that is deep space and all of the stuff that happens out there. So for what it's worth, I found it very interesting. I absolutely love this album. I don't know how you guys feel, but there will be a part 2 when we actually look at the overview itself from a lyrical standpoint. This has been Meaningful Lyrics. We'll see you on the next one. All right? Peace.